This is Nerd News Cafe. Stir it up with Matt, Landon, and Justin.
Get ready to stir it up. It is round 26, baby. And the Thursday's so sweet because I'm not in a parking lot. Jeez, my Lord. I don't think I got everything. I mean, by the time we got everything loaded before those official people with the sticks and the guns got there, I don't know that I got it all.
I think we left Landon behind.
I just got an Uber back from San Diego.
Uber. That's a long Uber.
By the way, I need $7,600.
I don't know if you saw in your contract that we didn't have but we don't do reimbursement.
well, I guess I have to go wash dishes in the Uber kitchen. Is that how you pay off Uber cabs?
Oil changes.
Hubcap.
Yeah, right.
Washing hubcaps.
Washing hubcaps. That's a good one. I like that. Well, as you didn't know, this is Matt.
This is Justin.
And I'm the king of Middle Tennessee, Landon Dillon.
King of Middle. Nice. I'm glad you proclaimed yourself. Somebody needed to.
Somebody's got to.
The throne was open.
First thing we need done is the Commodores eradicated.
Well, hopefully Butch Jones can take care of that. But his, on-the-field record.
Oh, God.
Well, before the SEC shuts us down for copyright infringement on something, what do we got over there in the... yeah, what do we got over there in the colorful leaf pages?
Oh, I think you're asking me, or at least telling me, giving me the cue. It's time to step on into Comic Book Corner.
I was a little bit more confident than last time. It wasn't creeper-like.
That was more of like my tick. That was my tick impression, like a heroic, cheesy heroic voice.
You probably could do a better job than what that guy's doing.
I don't know. People are saying so far. Early reviews are saying people are liking it, but
I hope so, because Amazon did a really job of putting that trailer.
Yeah. So, I finally made it back down to the comic book store this week. It's been several weeks since I've been there. A couple of things going on that kept me from making it to the store.
Your wife?
My wife.
Your bank account?
But
Yeah, that was going to be my answer.
bank account. But the bank account wasn't happy because I had to play catch up this week. But Richard down at Nerdvana Comics Knoxville was super happy.
I was going to say, his register was happy. He goes, cha-ching.
I hit an all-time high this week. So
Oh, no.
new high score, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think that's how that works, Justin.
No, that is definitely not how
He
that
ought
works.
to, like, that. Hey, I'm going to suggest that to him. He ought to have a scoreboard, and whoever pays the most, they get to be on the scoreboard for the week. I would have been probably in the top spot. Some good stuff hit the shelves this week, and of course, I did have to pick up some back issues, but I'm just going to mention a couple of things really quick, and then I'm going to hit some air brakes and maybe pivot a little bit. The first I want to mention is Dark Days, The Casting, #1. And you might remember me mentioning The Forge several weeks ago, which was the first prelude to the Batman Metal series. This is the next one. And of course, I went with the shiny cover. There were 3 covers to choose from again. I went with the shiny one.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
Not only is it shiny and sparkly, it's also a little more stout than what the other ones are.
I told you, you could sell that to anybody who ridicules you and say, well, you know what? When yours is degrading and mine still looks like it's new, eat it.
And just as we kick this off, I want to say in the very back, there's a nice tribute to Adam West, a 2-page tribute, 1928 to 2017. I've never had to say I'm Batman. I showed up. People knew I was Batman.
Nice.
Adam West.
That's a great quote, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking book, though, too.
Yeah. A lot of cool stuff happening in this. This is such a big event that's happening. I feel like if y'all are into Batman, into the Justice League, I think that you need to go out and invest in this series. At least at my local store, they still had The Forge, so you could pick that up. You can pick up The Casting. You've got a lot of Green Lantern action, Wonder Woman in here, Batman in like a suit of armor with a flaming sword. I mean, come
That's
on.
pretty metal.
And back in the Batcave, as we found out in the last one, the Joker's going to be playing a big part.
Sounds like Destiny DLC there.
Yeah.
Batman with the flaming sword.
I don't know how you get much better than Batman with a flaming
It is pretty
sword.
cool. The pages are pretty cool. I mean, he ain't wasting no time either. He is Thundar and everything he can hit with that thing.
Yeah, he is. So I just really recommend going out and checking this one out. Get on board because the Metal series is coming soon. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, an epic 6-issue event coming in August. Dark Knights. Will the multiverse destroy the DC universe? It says, will the dark multiverse destroy the DC universe? Yeah. So, I'm excited.
It's pretty.
I'm starting to experience a little bit of event fatigue because there's a lot going on right now. But this one I'm pretty fired up about. So go pick that up, guys.
Yeah,
Let me get it. It's like event fatigue is one of those things that if you're a avid comic book reader, you're gonna experience every now and then. But it's just like from a standpoint, it's like, yeah, granted, it seems like every one of these major crossovers, the world's gonna end. But at least in this aspect, it at least sounds new. So I'm with you. I'm interested to see where this goes.
We'll get in on it, buddy.
Yeah, usually you can do digital, but I think that one right there is definitely one you need to get in your hands.
Yeah, you need the shiny one.
You need the shiny
Go pick up
covers.
the shiny covers.
Yeah.
It's shiny.
I've always been a sucker for the shiny covers.
Oh, yeah.
And usually those don't end up being the ones that are worth anything. But I have them.
Nope, not at all.
It's the same with cards. It's like, oh my gosh, a
foil
hologram.
cards, yeah.
That is, or full cards. Yeah, that's worth nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Also this week, we got Edge of Venomverse number 2. And as we teased last time, it's going to be Gwenom, or what is she calling herself? Venpool. Because this is actually, it's not Spider-Gwen, it's Gwenpool that interacts with the
It's
the
an interesting
symbiote.
cover. I mean, it's an interesting looking cover. I will say that.
It looks crazy. She looks like Catwoman mixed with the Joker, mixed with Deadpool. There's a lot going on here, but she's definitely symbioting it up. And it almost, this one's a little bit different from the X-23 one because they really kind of go cartoony, almost like Invader Zim kind of style.
That's what I was thinking. I couldn't put the words to it, but I'm glad you said it because yeah, it is. That's what she looks like. She looks like if Invader Zim melded with Deadpool.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, even the colors too, because you got some purples and some greens. It's very Invader Zimmy. So Gwen's hitting the streets, fully Gwen pulled out, and gets just obliterated by a semi-automatic pistol, and is essentially dead until the symbiote comes and saves her life, and then she starts just tearing some foos up. So I'm just going to tell you, I mean, this is just kind of one of those fun things. This isn't one of those where you're going to be like, what a great story.
This is more of like a Deadpool comic where it's just goof.
It is. This is goofy. And I think that if if it's something that sounds interesting to you, then go check it out. You've got Daredevil action in this one, so Daredevil shows up.
It looked like the Hand is who she was fighting anyway, and I thought, okay, maybe they're bleeding into that universe.
Yeah. So you got a little crossover there with her.
Daredevil looks as comic. I mean, looks as like
He's comic booky, cartoony as well. And then they're just teasing the next one, which looks like
that looks pretty messed up.
Edge of Venomverse number 3 will be coming next. I think that it has to be next week, and it's going to be
looks like Ghost
Rider.
Yeah, and that cover looks. Landon, you need to check this cover out. I mean, it is something else.
Yeah, that's the coolest image I think I've seen from the Edge of Venomverse.
Yeah, I mean, that's straight up badass.
Well, and that's really saying something because I haven't read the Edge of Venomverse books, but I have gone online and looked at some of the art. So for y'all to say this is the coolest cover they've put out in a series that's only 2 issues in, that's already cranked out some really cool, unique artwork, I'm going to check that out. And plus, I mean, just the thought of a symbioted out, or what did you say got her symbiote on, Jay? Or,
she got her symbiote on.
Yeah, and now Ghost Rider's going to do the same? Holy crap.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghost Rider is pretty... I like Ghost Rider. He's a personal favorite of mine, but to have the symbiote backing him, good Lord.
Mm-hmm. That seems pretty... and I know DC has already done this. Metal.
Moving on, another one I picked up was Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 2.
Still enjoying that?
Again, this is one that's kind of helping people to... It's like their gateway for Spider-Man. If their first introduction is Spider-Man Homecoming, they created this book to be an easy way to get into the Spider-Man world. You can see on the cover, there's a lot of...
there's a lot of Marvel.
There's a lot of Marvel. There was, and I told you in the first one that there was a lot of crossover, but you can see, the Hulk's on here, Miss Marvel's on here, Iron Man... Ant-Man,
Cyclops.
Nova,
Vision,
yeah, and even a little Howard the Duck action.
Howard the Duck,
yeah. So Cyclops, yeah.
They are selling their soul for that Howard the Duck, aren't they?
And the Torch, because he was in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man stood him up. They were supposed to have a movie date, and he ended up standing him up. So,
Sorry, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, that one came out, and then Royal City #5. Air brakes. Hold on a second. I want to talk for a minute in my remaining time about Fast and Furious, because guess what? I watched two more.
Oh my god.
We're throwing the format out the window.
I watched 2 more Fast and Furious movies. I've got the pedal to the floor, my friends. I'm ready to switch into that mysterious eighth gear. Let's do this right.
Oh yeah.
Drop it down. I'm not going to blow any engines. I'm hitting the NOS.
Hit the NOS. Don't forget the NOS. It's on everything.
We are steaming into #5, Fast 5.
So did you watch Tokyo Drift?
I watched Tokyo Drift with Bow Wow. Oh, God.
He was something else, wasn't he?
He was. And let me just say, you talked about how the main character in Tokyo Drift was going to drive me crazy with his accent. You weren't lying. I actually forgot you had said that. And while I was watching, I was like, is this dude faking it? Because it's way over
bad.
the top.
Well, from contrast of listening to my raw.
Oh, he's worse than you.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like it is like the worst person trying to do the worst accent.
It was like he said, where do I get my inspiration for this voice? Every character from Varsity Blues? Got it.
Or designing women. Or
a little Delta Burke action.
A little Delta Burke. He's like, well, now I don't want. I'm like, holy crap! You are eating the words.
And I said, when he was learning to drift and he was crashing the cars, I was like, yeah, obviously, because this is a handicapped person.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Don't put a handicapped person behind the wheel.
Did he have a blue tag in the drift car? I did not see it.
He borrowed Han's car to begin with,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, that's right. You owe me a new car.
Let me mention Han because
Han's
while
the strongest character in the whole
he's-
freaking thing.
Han is awesome. I really liked Han. I've never seen someone who could give less shits about anything that they said.
He
in a
didn't
movie.
care. He didn't care.
He was checked out from the beginning of that movie.
He picked up the phone and goes, "Let me do my performance," and phoned that whole bad
Yep.
boy in.
He mailed it in. He wasn't even on the phone. This was snail mail.
Did you like the villain? The
yeah.
Drift King?
Drift King.
I felt like he was justified the entirety of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
So, and then of course they try to make you feel bad for him. He's just trying to please his uncle and impress him. And
I was like, I don't really see the point. So this guy from America comes and puts an American boot in this Japanese guy's game.
booting his ass. That's what we do. It's the American way.
Toby Keith Reject shows up, learns all the skills he needs within, a week?
Yeah. Oh,
A week?
He went to drift camp.
He went to drift camp and came back a Michael Jordan of steering wheel.
He's the drifting Jesus now.
He-
White drifting
oh
Jesus.
my gosh, he is. And
Which I actually started calling him at the end of the
What,
movie. I was
Drifting
like,
Jesus?
Drifting Jesus has arrived.
well, the worst part about it is I love this movie. Don't get me wrong. There's so much good stuff about this movie, but there's so much like you have got to really look past. And one of those things is his dad, who is just horrible from day one.
Yeah.
Just a horrible person, does not care. I mean, I understand why he lived with his
Absentee
mom.
dad, yeah.
Oh, he is beyond absentee. He is like bus attendant, like not even there. So he straight up is like, I got this old Mustang you can fix up in the garage. No. Why do you have a Mustang in Japan? Where did you get it?
Oh, he
Why
said
is
he got it
there?
from a Navy base.
Bullcrap.
Yeah.
He didn't get nothing from nowhere. This is like the most Dos Ex Machina thing I've ever seen in a movie. And then they like put the
They
not to
dropped that
mention
engine in
well
there.
yeah, not to mention, and this is the Fast and Furious this is their cup of tea with the pinky up. I can't believe I'm reviewing
Cup
this
of
and you're
green
not.
tea.
Yeah. But this is such a passionate movie with me because I hate it and I love it at the same time. But they put together an engine and set this car up to drift within a couple days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like fully functional.
His dad's been working on that thing for years.
For
it
years,
seems
like,
like,
since-
and it's still a rusted out piece of junk.
I know. Since he abandoned his son, he's been working on this car.
Yeah.
You know?
This Tokyo Drift Mafia shows up,
This guy has got
and he has to know he's setting it up to be destroyed.
okay, and oh yeah, this thing's going to the trash can.
Yeah.
It automatically is getting mailed off because you don't see it at the end of the movie because he's like, "Where's my Mustang?" He's like, "At the bottom of a cliff," and I did you a favor.
Roll credits.
Yeah, roll credits. No, we can't roll credits without freaking Toretto.
Oh, you gotta have family. Here's my family. I
Now
can't do
that
it
car
today.
he's in is stellar. I love the car he's in at the end of it, which is like an old Challenger. No, maybe it was a.
I was thinking it was like a Charger, maybe.
Yeah, it was some
I
kind
don't
of
know.
Char. I think it was a Challenger because it
May
kind of
have
looked
been a
like General
Challenger.
Lee.
Yeah, it did.
So that's a cool thing. But I would love to see just 5 minutes past that where he's slamming that thing into the walls where he can't drift
course.
it, and then hey man, you gotta get in there and drift it, and then him teaching him would be great. But that didn't happen.
Every time they have a race in these movies, every car gets destroyed. So I have to imagine, how do they have cars to continue racing? Like, where do they get their...
Oh, you will see it.
It's crazy.
Wait till you get to 5, and you will be alleviated of that
Okay,
question.
So I'm getting there. So moving on to Fast
4.
and Furious.
Yeah, go ahead and hit 4.
And Han shows up because it's supposed to happen before Tokyo Drift.
We reverse time.
Yeah, we're back in
We flashpointed.
Gotta go back in time. Doo-doo-doo.
I saw no Doc, no Marty.
Oh yeah, you're true. But Han's there, and I was excited to see him. Still could not give a shit that he's in a movie. Like, honestly, I don't know.
I think he's the
Do
one
you
with the
think
rich
he-
mafia uncle
Do
because
you
he could
think-
care less.
Do you think he auditioned that way? They handed him a script, and he was like, "Hey, you're gonna have to get me a car now."
Yeah.
I honestly,
What do you
thought-
guys want to do? Oh, you want me to drive this wrecker? And okay, cool.
Watching Tokyo Drift, I thought he was going to be like dozing off throughout that movie. Like I really,
Did you notice though that he had the Brad Pitt thing going on where he's eating all the
oh
time?
yeah, always eating.
It's like,
always
this
eating.
guy's always
Well,
eating.
because they were like, give him something to do to keep him awake. Give him a sandwich.
he has to be in constant motion, or he is going. Hey, you know what? Let's take a step back. Maybe he has narcolepsy.
I don't think it matters though. I think you can't control narcolepsy whether you're holding a sandwich or not.
True, that's true. Well, maybe that's why he doesn't have emotions because I heard it's triggered from high emotion or stress.
so he's gotta
So he's
keep it-
like, hey, I'm gonna get in this car and drive. What do you mean you're gonna drive? Hey. Let's not get too uppity.
Yeah. I didn't even see any emotion from him when he exploded in that at the end of Tokyo Drift, but spoiler alert.
Yes, spoiler alert.
I feel like everyone you've gotten to the movies now. Well, 2 should have had Pitbull, but now from here on, Pitbull should be in there every time.
Yeah.
Dolly.
Mr. Worldwide.
Monica.
Oh my God, that was we missed him just barely. It's
He could have been in-
if we
in
took just
Too Fast,
pulled
Too
out.
Furious.
Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Well, they still got.
Oh no,
more to
you're
go.
talking about that was the first movie. You're right.
Yeah,
that
that
was the Fast and the Furious.
Monica.
Yeah.
Could have put Pitbull.
All right. So Fast and Furious. I just want to say that this one, I don't know. One of the things that I've picked up on, and you can tell me if this continues. At some point, maybe even twice or 3 times in the movie, they have to have their PG-13 version of a Girls Gone Wild scene where it's all the hot cars
yeah.
with bumping music, and the girls show
Oh
up
yeah,
wearing
we're just shaking
nothing.
our butts. Yeah, it's like every lowrider magazine you've ever picked up ever.
Basically.
Yeah. No, that's continuous. I was actually going to comment on that because it happens every movie.
They have
at
to
some
do it.
location.
They're like, this is a central key to these movies. We have to have our PG-13 Girls Gone Wild scene, and with
They got to
rocking
have the
music.
3 Bs. Butts, boost, and beats. That's got to happen every time. We got to have those 3 Bs. It's in the script. It's like they got like the little Fast and Furious Bible.
Yeah.
And they open up and go, and I mean big letters, triple B. Got to have
And
it.
I was thinking, in those scenes, there's always a ton of extras.
Oh,
but
yeah.
their costume budget cannot be that much because nobody's wearing anything.
No, those
So-
are probably expensive bikinis, I would imagine.
might be, but-
and banana hammocks. You can still get banana
So-
hammocks. No News Cafe.
Yeah, Nerd News Cafe banana hammocks.
That's right. They're still available.
Still to come. But Fast and Furious, my thoughts on that one were, Paul Walker's now back in the FBI,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, why would they ever trust him to stick to his word ever? Because he never has in
Fair
any of these
question.
movies.
I feel like he is like, you know how they have the hacker convention? I'm not sure what it's called in Las Vegas, and they get people who basically have broken the law several times to be who they are. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to work for the CIA or whatever?" It's the same thing. It's like, "Oh, he has the magic touch like the rest of these guys with cars." So there you go.
So he gets. They just have to have
It's
him.
the same reason Tony Stark isn't arrested in the Avengers every time.
I guess.
Fair
I guess.
point.
But
He's broken so many FAA laws; it's ridiculous.
But of course now, Michelle Rodriguez has died
Yes,
in this one, and
Yes.
they're trying to get to the bottom of who was responsible. and take
Letty.
out that dude. Yeah, Letty's gone, which was unfortunate.
This movie is the beginning of what you have now. This is your origin story. I'll just let you know this right now.
This is setting up the next.
Right. The other three are kind of like prequels.
Okay.
They're almost like the Lucas of prequels. And then
It's like adjacent world, but now this is what's setting
they all
me up
work
for-
together. They
Yeah.
all do work together. Not so much drift, but
This
they
was
all
hitting
work
like the
together.
reset
This
button.
is where they're like, now we want to do story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now from here on,
Yes.
it's all about family.
Oh, my man.
So, yeah.
And
I
Johnson.
want to talk about one particular scene where this was after Vin Diesel and Paul Walker and I think
What happens in this one? I get this one confused with 5.
well, so at one point Vin Diesel goes full psychic and is standing in the spot where Letty has died.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The only thing that he notices
I call that the Sherlock Holmes moment where he plays back what happens.
this is full psychic.
Is it psychic?
Because there's no way he could have intuited what happened. All he saw was a burn mark that he knew was from a gunshot. And because of that,
And he
he
dead zoned it.
replayed the whole Letty death scene from crash to her demise. And he even could see the guy who did it, basically. And I was like, so at this point, I'm going back to you telling me they're all superheroes.
They
and I'm
are.
like, obviously, and he's tuned into some cosmic energy.
If you think he is the smartest man in the room,
It doesn't
he
matter how
is.
smart you are. You can't reenact
wait.
something you weren't there for.
When this vision happened, was he in the car? Either?
No, standing on the road.
Was the car near him?
He was near a car. He was
all it
adjacent to a car.
That's what I'm saying. He was using the battery juice out of the car
Yeah.
to envision this world.
Oh my God. I was like, is this really happening? Vin Diesel is visualizing how his
Sherlock
girlfriend
Holmes
died.
again, yeah.
He was in another country. He was in Colombia.
Getting roasted
Anyway.
with the 3 Bs.
Yeah. So, God. So anyway, from that point on, it becomes he's trying to take down the people that killed Letty.
Oh, this is
But
the Mexico
also-
one, right?
But yeah, they go to Mexico.
Yeah, this is
and they're
where we get
driving
Giselle.
through the caves.
This is where we find
Oh
Wonder
yeah,
Woman.
Wonder Woman shows up. Yeah,
Yeah. And I want you to, from here on out, and actually, if you need to think about it again, watch it again, think of her as Wonder Woman, but without her memory. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, you're going to be like, this works.
What? Okay, so there's 3 things I want to mention that I was like, really? Okay, first, when they go to take down who they think is like the kingpin of this organization,
Yeah.
but it was a dummy, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
And then the real Marco is going to like run down Giselle. He's going to run her over. Vin Diesel dives and saves her. At that point, she becomes a good guy. Okay.
Oh, I cannot wait for you to get in these later movies to figure out how their whole association of good
all
guys
it took was a Goldberg spear from Vin Diesel, and all of a sudden Wonder Woman is now on the good
Wouldn't
side.
it be great if is it John Ross? Is that his name? Oh my God, he speared her.
Jim
Ross.
Ross.
That's Jim.
Oh my God! Yeah,
My God.
by God, he speared mankind. Anyway,
Behind the wheel.
the other one. This is what I was getting to before we went off on this tangent. So Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, and Dom's sister. I can't think of her real name, but anyway. So they're sitting in the hideout momentarily, and Paul Walker's phone goes off. Or no, that's what it is. Vin Diesel has Letty's phone and dials like the last number, and it rings Paul Walker's phone. Well, that kicks off a beatdown for the centuries. And I was like, what? Okay, obviously it's because he's psychic. Because why, just because dialing the last dialed number calls Paul Walker, does that mean Vin Diesel needs to beat the shit out of him?
Okay, let's take a step back on this phone. They've got burner phones, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a phone that cheap last that long, especially in a car wreck?
And it was
That
in
Again,
phone-
is a fair point.
perfect condition.
That phone resale value was almost mint.
Well, maybe by Vin Diesel touching it, it magically came back to life.
I'm surprised that he even dialed the number from what you're saying. He probably just laid his hand on the phone and was like, the last number is 8.
And because he's a psychic, he knew that, because this dialed her phone, Paul Walker had got her to flip, and she was working for the FBI, and he's the reason she's dead, and now I'm going to kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happened. He
But he's
figured
married
all that out.
to my...
Well, they're
sister.
not married.
Are they not married?
No,
in that
no,
yet?
no.
Are they
She
still-
actually didn't trust Paul Walker when he came back in this movie because, but they ended
'cause
up
he'd
they
been-
ended up doing it
because
anyway.
she probably had him tested. He'd been down in Miami for how long?
Yeah, that's true.
Dude,
Who
and
knows
he's
what he
with
picks up.
Tyrese. I mean, come on.
Oh, he's definitely spreading HPV.
That's the least of the things he's spreading.
Oh, whoa, that could go way wrong.
Uh-oh.
But anyway,
I'm backing away from the mic now.
the last thing that I was going to mention was at the end, Giselle. They're going down to take down the real Kingpin dude.
Yeah.
Giselle shows up on the hill, like she drives up in her cool car. What? For what purpose? Why was she even there? She wasn't part of the takedown, and she doesn't show up in the rest of the movie. Why was she even there at that time?
3 Bs.
I think it was
To show off her sweet ass car.
I guess. I
And
think
her...
it was.
Well, never mind.
I think it was
And her
because
sweet ass at.
Yeah.
Wait.
because it was like they were, it's this nice sundown over this town in Mexico. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel are standing there, and then
That's not
she
a real
pulls
thing.
up in the car,
yeah.
and it's just like, and she was there, I guess, to establish that she's a good guy now. That was really the only thing. And then I think she told them where he was, but that was the only thing she did. And then she wasn't in like the rest of the movie, and so
She's behind the scenes.
I guess. But anyway,
The tunnel scene was hilarious to
the
me.
tunnel scenes are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're hilarious. When you were
Everybody
talking about
would've
the whole boat thing, and it's like, oh, Monica running. I think they should scream Monica at everything. At this point, it's like when you said that, I was thought, I don't know why my head here goes Monica into the boat, but I think they should scream that every time. That should be like their spoon in the Tick thing, It's like they're going through the tunnels, Monica. He's just cutting through there. But there's so much stupid stuff that happened with the tunnels and all that. Mm-hmm. And then the whole FBI bust and them having to let people go. And it's like,
The
this
FBI
is never in. The FBI
They ruin everything.
They are the dullards in every one of these
Yeah.
movies.
Always. They always go in too soon. Yeah. They always take out the wrong guy.
was like,
they're
here
the
goes the
most
planning.
inept organization.
No.
Good thing we have Vin Diesel,
Yeah, thank God. The smartest man in the room
Who can-
is a street risen guy.
who can stand near to a place where someone died and visualize the whole thing as if he was standing there in 3D.
Wouldn't it be great if there was a whole series about him going and solving crimes? I believe it was the baker that killed your husband.
Well, I guess it'd kind of be like iZombie. He'd be seeing everything through other people's eyes.
But he doesn't have to eat like brains. He just has to touch.
He just
like,
has to stand
He has
near
to touch
something.
skid marks on the ground from a car. Because I want to establish skid marks are that and not tiger stripes.
So, anyway. Now I'm ready for Fast 5.
You're going to be so happy on Fast Five.
I'm excited because now I'm getting in the good ones, right?
Yeah, now it starts to get good.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw plot out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've done that anyway.
Oh, no, you
Yeah,
haven't.
it's the
You've
Fast and
seen
the
nothing. You've seen nothing now. It gets worse. It's like they stop trying. It's like we just need.
Hey, they know where their bread's buttered.
They fill plot holes with explosions and crazy stunts because that's what they do well. Like if everybody on Fast and the Furious, if everybody in the world decided these movies were no good anymore, everybody would still have a job because they could do practical effects from here to oblivion.
They don't even need people in the movie.
No, they don't need anything. It's just like boom. What's happening? Who cares? Did you see that helicopter ram that car? That's awesome.
So I'm
They
fired
do
up.
kill a helicopter with a car at
They-
one point. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They kill a helicopter.
They do all kinds of stuff, man. They hit a tank with a car.
I can't wait.
And,
Can't wait.
and,
to see
and
it.
in the most recent one, they upped the ante with a
Submarine.
Holy crap. I cannot wait till you get to that one so I can talk about that. It's
We're getting there.
So insane.
We're
Okay.
getting there. And then we're going to do live reactions when they do the Rock and Jason Statham spinoff. That's what we
Oh,
should do.
I will go see it. I was kind of like but I want to see this movie now. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you see this last one. You're going to be like, yep, this
All right.
works.
All right. So that'll wrap up my half comic book corner, half Fast and the Furious roundup.
It's become Fast Corner now.
Fast corner. It's the fast,
Fast corner. Yep.
So from one practical effect to another effect, what do we have in Hot and Streamy?
This week in Hot and Streamy, I talked about it, or I guess I teased it on our last couple episodes. If you're a video gamer, you've probably been paying attention online, at least, to the Destiny 2 beta. If you pre-ordered it on the PlayStation 4, you got access to it 18th through the 20th of July. If you pre-ordered it on Xbone, you got it 20th and 21st of July. But this past weekend, 21st through the 23rd, was open console beta for both Xbox and PlayStation owners. So that means it is free range for everybody to give it a shot. And I have put a lot of time into the Destiny 2 beta. I know that comes as a shock to you guys, but it was really cool. Like I said last time, they gave us the opening story mission. It gave us it gave us a strike, which is the PvE kind of like dungeons, and then it gave you two crucibles, which is the PvP map. I really enjoyed it. I played through the opening mission probably about 4 times because unlike the original Destiny 2, at least from the beta, is launching with an honest-to-God story. I can tell you what is going on in this story this story mission that you play through on the beta, whereas opposed to I played the original Destiny a whole bunch, went through every strike, didn't do all the raids pre-DLC. Pre-DLC, there was no story to speak of whatsoever. Like, I know Bungie's going to tell you, oh, no, there was definitely a story. No, there wasn't. There was no story to Destiny.
No.
Now they fixed that in the beta, which I did like, but I like the fact that it at least seems that Destiny 2 is launching with a story because that main opening mission is really cool. And yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and tell you what happens because it is out there. And I have a feeling, you could probably see videos of it. This mission starts right when stuff starts to go really bad on the tower, when the new big baddies show up to pretty much just destroy the tower, which I think is cool. And then you go from there. I'll let you actually play through it and have those oh my god reveals because there are some really big moments. Like the end of this story mission is one of those I'm like, oh damn, how do we come back from this type moments? And then the ghost actually asked that question pretty much, which I liked. I also spent a lot of time in the strike, which was the inverted spire. I really liked it, but this is kind of a theme I'm noticing from at least the PvE side of it. The guns and the weapons feel really nerfed, and the enemies feel very bullet spongy, and to the point where Bungie has even come out and said, "Yeah, the PvE version you're playing in the beta is a several months old version, and the reactions that we're seeing in the beta, in our minds, justifies these changes that we've made." I'm like, okay, that's all well and good, but if you've already made these changes, why are we playing a version of the game that's already outdated? But again, it is beta, so whatever. They're figuring some stuff out. They did say they're going to fix the PvE side of it because the problem, it's not really a problem. The issue comes from they've fixed a lot of guns for PvP action, and it works fine in the PvP. I'm not a giant PvP fan, but I really did enjoy the time I spent in the Crucible during the beta. The PvP to Destiny 2 feels much better and, for the lack of a better term, more fair than the original Destiny PvP felt. I do hope that they are going to make some tweaks to the PvE side of it, though, because like I said, it really felt like a lot of the enemies, especially the further you got in the strike, became bigger bullet sponges where you just have to wear them out with every one of your guns, and then you're like, oh, crap, I'm out of ammo. So you're scrambling, trying to find ammo while enemies just spawn on top of you. Another thing I wasn't a big fan of, they changed the weapon system to where, like, in the original Destiny, you could have an assault rifle in one slot, you could have a shotgun or a sniper rifle or a fusion rifle in your other slot, and then you could have a heavy weapon, like a bazooka or a Gatling gun. In Destiny 2, the heavy weapons are, like, I didn't find any bazookas or rocket launchers. The heavy weapons are shotguns, sniper rifles, and fusion rifles. So I don't like how they've shifted what essentially was in your slot 2 to your special weapon, because now it just really feels like my character, I was carrying around an assault rifle and a sidearm, which that doesn't, where on the flip side, my setup in Destiny 1 was give me an assault rifle and a shotgun and I'm good to go all day. So I don't like that aspect, the fact that I can't rock shotguns like I used to back in Destiny 1, because since it's a heavy weapon, heavy ammo is much more scarce. So I like that might just be one of those things you have to get used to with Destiny 2. Fingers crossed they might change that, because Bungie has said they are going to tweak some stuff coming out of the beta. I don't know if that's one of the things they're going to tweak, but my takeaway is like it really felt like riding a bike. When I put the controller in my hand, started firing up Destiny 2, it's like, oh, okay, this is the game that I know how to play. It's like gameplay wise, I really enjoyed it. It looks a whole lot more visually engaging, at least from what I've seen, than the original Destiny. The original Destiny had a lot of drab, like browns and greens and stuff like that. At least from what I've seen in the beta, it's a very vibrant world. So I like that aspect. So it should be a more visually engaging game than the original Destiny. I liked the strike that they gave us. If that's just like, to whet our appetite of what's going to be coming in the strikes in Destiny 2, I like where these are going. That said, I do hope they do tweak some of the stuff that I wasn't that big on. But my takeaway is I can't wait for Destiny 2 to come out. Like, this has really just reinvigorated my Destiny. Like I need to get my Destiny fix again.
Get your Destiny on.
Get your death.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't think a shotgun should be a heavy weapon.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things I read about this is I thought that what they had established is that you could put any gun in any slot and that the effects change. I thought that I had read that.
That's a possibility, and I guess I could have overlooked it, but every time I tried to equip a shotgun, the only place that would let me equip it was in that heavy weapon slot, which, like I said, in the original Destiny, that's where you would put your Gallahorn rocket launcher or whatever broken
something.
sniper
Right, exactly. Something where you may only need one or two shots or something.
Exactly.
Well, my loadout was a scout rifle because I like the scope off of them, and then I love the sidearms.
We know you're a sucker for snipers.
Yeah, well, I didn't go sniper rifle. I put a sidearm because that was my get off me, bro, gun. Because I think I had a sidearm all the way up. I don't remember. It was close to 300. This thing was insane. Like, it was like my pop, 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 get off me. And then I'd run away. And then I had my boom, which is just a rocket launcher. That was my loadout every time.
Well, your loadout will carry over to Destiny 2, where, like I mentioned, my previous get off me gun was just to break out a shotgun and go for the head.
That's what I would do too. Yeah, I went shotgun.
Which
I didn't like them.
Which, I mean, you still can do, but like I said, that's now a heavy weapon, which means heavy ammo is more scarce than regular ammo. But like I said, in the PvE, I was having issues finding ammo, period.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the strike, multiple times, because I must have gone through this strike at least 10 times. There were multiple times where at the very end, I'm scrambling for any sort of ammo because I've literally gone through every shot of every gun that I have. And I'm like, all right, well, I can punch dudes now until I find ammo, but oh God, this isn't working. So.
Yeah, but it's cool that it sounds like one of the things you mentioned is that it was like riding a bike. And that's important for me because when I pick up a game that's in a series that I enjoy, I want to feel like, all right, I don't have to relearn this, and I'm in it already. I will tell you one of the things I remember from it just made me think of playing the Batman Arkham series because when you went from Asylum to City, it changed a lot. Being Batman changed, and so for me, I was like, I mean, I got used to it, and I eventually was fine with it, but there was an adjustment period. Yeah. So for this, it sounds like you won't need to do that for Destiny 2, and that's cool. I like that.
No, not really. I mean, there are some new tweaks. Like, obviously, all of the classes have new all the character classes have different subtypes. I like that. They're new. But, yeah, I mean, generally, when you pick up a controller, you're going to already know 90% of the gameplay off the bat if you put time into the original Destiny. Some of the changes that I do like, I mentioned each class or each type of character has a different subclass. Every character now has a cooldown ability. Like, for example, the Titans can put either a giant wall that gives you cover, or they can put down a half wall that lets you peek out behind and shoot people.
Nice. That's
still
nice.
Covered. And that isn't their ultimate. Like, for example, the ultimate with the Titan, he gets a crazy Captain America shield, and he just goes Captain America on everybody's ass. Just shield slams everybody. I like that aspect of the Titan. the other special for the Titan is he still has his ground slam where he jumps up and it leaves like an AoE of lightning, but he can now go after people and like continue to lightning punch them. Warlock has an ability where it can recharge your health and your shields, which I think is cool. Ooh. Yeah, then I think it's like their new subclass is the Sun Sword or something, where you get a big giant fiery sword and you go hack and slash, kind of similar to the Titan's previous ability coming out of one of the DLCs from the original Destiny. But then here comes the Hunter, because apparently everybody online is pissed with what Bungie has done to the Hunter, because right now it's like the Hunter's special ability is like, oh, you can dash and it'll reload your weapon for you. Cool. And even the special, it's like the new special. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's so lackluster. Oh wait, I remember. You get like a lightning spear and you can throw it. And that's about it.
So you're Zeus.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You turn into Zeus for. Yeah.
It sounds like they made the warlocks a cleric.
The Warlock and the Titan, I really like what they've done with this. The Hunter, not so much, and people online are echoing what I'm saying. But like I said last week, and like I've said several times this week, this is a beta, and I got to give Bungie this. It at least sounds like they're listening to complaints and feedback, and they're going to put that into the game. So give it to Bungie on that. I'm super pumped for it. We're like, 5-6-ish weeks out from it going live to everybody in retail. I'm looking forward to it. Thumbs up.
I guess I'm thinking about that Hunter ability and wondering what the thinking is. And I guess it's like, so obviously when
I know the advantage of it.
When you have to reload, that's a pause in your attack, right? So you need cover, or you need to be able to do that, in a safe way. So I guess from the perspective of, you can fire off some shots, do a dash to reload, and then fire off more shots, and you don't have to, there's no wait, and you were able to change positions. I don't know, but you said, does the dash have a cooldown?
Yes, the dash does have a cooldown.
Okay, so that's pretty weak then.
Well,
and especially compared to the other like cooldown abilities, not the ultimates, those are different, especially when the Titan gives you two different types of cover, when the Warlock can give you shield and health back, which previously there was no character that would give you health back.
No.
You could get a shield back, but I mean, like, the Warlock will give you full everything. So I like that, where it's like the Hunter's like, cool, you can reload fast every 15 seconds.
Do you think they're trying to... A lot of people were hunters. I'm not going to lie. From what I saw, there was tons and tons of it.
There were a lot of hunters.
It was a good versatile character, and you could have whole parties of hunters. Now what it sounds like is they're trying to get everybody to flush out their team with a full ensemble. It's like, hey, are we going to do this strike? Cool. I'm going to go with my Titan character. You guys are going to pick up a hunter, and we definitely need a warlock. So you've got to flush out this team. So with the hunter being... it seems like lackluster, but at the same time, if you were a true hunter, you're not supposed to be in the face. I mean, that's the Titans kind of characterization. Though everybody was, don't get me wrong. I mean, I would go out there with the best of them and just waylay with the hunter, because it was a very versatile character. But with
the hunter had a kick-ass melee.
He did. And
remember?
Oh yeah, tons of options for. I mean, all three of the. I don't know what to call them, but the sun.
Classes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all the
subclasses.
The subclasses were great. I mean, they had some really great abilities that you could switch up and customize the way you play. But the only thing I can think with the dash, and this is what I was getting to, is when you're a hunter, you're expected to be that, for lack of a better word, the sniper of the crew, or more of the middle
hitting from the shadows.
Exactly. So one of the things you would want to do is you fire, and you exhaust your ammo and then relocate. It's like boom, let me go over here, relocate, everything's back to full, and I can keep support. Well, that's suppressive fire or support, from on high.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Maybe so didn't say as eloquently as you have.
Oh, I didn't. It took me an hour to get there.
and I completely agree with you. But the problem is
that
like
sucks.
Jay asked, It's on a cooldown, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, because if you're going to give me, well, I mean, all you would do is, you just keep doing it and just keep
Exactly,
reloading.
yeah.
But
So they have to have it on a cooldown. But at the same time, if it has to be on a cooldown, maybe give it a shorter cooldown.
Yeah.
well, and the thing, yeah, a shorter cooldown, and it sounds like they need some more abilities for him. I mean, they've turned the knob up on the other two. Why are we squatting on this one? Other than what I said before, maybe they felt like everybody was a hunter, and they're like, okay, we need to influence a little bit of versatility here.
Well, and it's interesting you say everybody was a hunter back in Destiny 1, and I ran into a lot of hunters. But it's interesting, in the beta for Destiny 2, every strike that I went through, I would say the group makeup was either 2 Titans and a Warlock or 2 Warlocks and a Titan. I didn't see a lot of people playing with the hunter.
See, and it was, I think it was almost the opposite of what I saw. I mean, the only time I ever saw was a Titan hardly was either PvP or when you went up like the Vault of Glass and stuff like that, where you had to have some cover.
Yeah, where you had to have that bubble.
Yeah, other than that, everybody else was a Warlock, or majority of the time was a Hunter.
Well, I'm gonna be the mythical unicorn and admit that I played Titan all day, every day. So.
I thought Titan was great. I felt more comfortable in the Hunter, and I put a lot of time into the Hunter, so I stayed with it. Some people had 2 or 3 characters that were all base level, or not base level, but all leveled together, and I'm like, God, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, that was also me when I was in the throes of my Destiny addiction.
I mean, I got it. I mean, once they fixed it with Taken King, it was a fun game.
Yes, it was. Like I said, once the DLC with Destiny hit, then it got a story. Then the game got really good. I feel like, at least from the beta, and I'll say it one more time, that it's launching with an honest-to-God story that you know what's going on, and it gives you a reason to get from point A to point B instead of, well, I got to do this so I can, get raids later eventually. It's like, story-wise, I was engaged after probably the 20, 25 minutes it took you to beat that opening mission.
Like I said, it sounds awesome, but I don't know. Unless they take criticism of here's a Band-Aid for your butt hurt on Xbox, I'm probably not going to do it for a while, if at all. I mean, I was excited about it. It looks awesome, but just to get, kind of slanted towards is not fun.
Well, expect Justin and I's very in-depth review of Destiny 2 here in about 6
No, that's fine. You guys should. I mean, and there's other games I can explore. I mean, once Origins comes out for Assassin's Creed, forget anything else.
I thought you were talking Stargate.
Stargate, I want to get the box set early. I'm going to go ahead and order it on Amazon.
There you go, yep.
But yeah, so.
But that's my thoughts on Destiny 2. But that was not the only big free public online event that happened this weekend. And I'm going to toss it to Matt for a tag team hot and streamy.
That's right. That's right. I am ready here to tell you how Matt got his ass blown to pieces quite a few times. So Battlefield 1 opened up a open DLC with their maps on the PvP, and it was something else. Those maps are amazing. It's the None Shall Pass DLC, and we haven't gotten the Russian one yet, but it is coming. But this one with the French opposition and everything's in there, it is insane. They're a lot more. These maps are a lot more open field. They're a lot more, you got to do some thought processes because you're literally out in pastures where you can get your head blown off by anybody because they have said effectively some of those guns are pretty range heavy.
When you were out in the pasture, did you happen to see my dead hamster Speedy?
I did not.
That's where my parents said he went.
Oh, no, you're talking about the farm.
Oh, sorry.
He went to that rolling ball farm. Yeah, that's not a real thing. You need to have a conversation with your parents. But yeah, it seems like in these, man, they have went insane with vehicles. I think on one of the maps, I can't remember which one it is, Be a Marine or something like that was the title of it. I think there was 20 tanks on the battlefield at one point in time. I took cover behind 3 of them, sniping people, and I was like, this is insane. There are way too many vehicles going on here. Numerous times was I like, jump in this hole. Oh, there goes my head. Let me wait a minute. I mean, I got killed so many times. I think so. I think people have gotten really good at keeping their head down and getting close to you and stabbing you, because I think I got macheted quite a few times, and then I got clubbed hiding behind a haystack. People have gotten really good with these airplanes. I mean, the skill level that's going into this game, you can tell people are starting to evolve and do some really crazy stuff. I mean, I was watching, planes do like barrel rolls into each other, and it's insane. And it was like a bomber plane too. I was like, what are you doing? It's like the slowest plane ever. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I killed a lot of people with a pistol that I'd never done before because they weren't paying attention. I was like, well, these guys are going to die. And then, but I will admit though, a lot of people put a lot of time in the assault class. I don't. I spent all my time in the medic class, which is easy points. If you really want to be on top of the boards for no reason, you can just throw out those medic boxes. Here you go, guys. And then I got a lot of my scout classes. I don't know that I can do any more than I'm doing. I don't close to 20 on the scout, one of those rifles. So that's all. I mean, that's all I use. But the vehicles, man, they're still fun. I still enjoy the vehicles. And the thing I like about the Battlefield, especially with as many vehicles as they threw at you on this DLC, is that you get a chance, like usually in the maps, there's like 2 or 3, tank. And if you get a dullard behind the wheel, it's like, here I go, right in the middle of battle, hoping it'll get blown up. Yeah.
AKA me.
I'm just going to run everybody over. That's not how this works. You have to think tactically. It's like, I don't want to go near people with bombs, or I don't want to go near people that has a cannon that can blow this thing to pieces. So, but this gave you an opportunity to get in all of them. I mean, and they broke out in these maps called the Behemoths, and these are giant tanks that just roll around. And if you're driving that thing, it is a lot of fun because it can take a hit. It can take a beating for a while. I only drove it once, and I think the guy that was in it jumped out of it because it only had 24% left on it. And I was like, let's go to the flag. We're just going all out, baby, But the best thing about those vehicles, I will say this, is a group effort. It is like everybody's got to mount a cannon. Everybody's got to take a position, and it helps if you have mics, which we went radio silence. I've noticed a lot in here lately. It's like no one wants to talk, So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the maps they opened up. I wish I know that they wouldn't, and it's probably so they can get you to buy it. But I wish they had opened up the campaigns too, because I would love to have played this DLC campaigns, because I finished all the other campaigns and they are a lot of fun.
Yeah,
because the first one was kind of slow with the tank and stuff like that. But once you get going in it, it's so much fun to you're leading this tank around, and then you get in a big tank battle in this one town, and it's a lot of fun. And then the stories that they bring with it are you care about the characters. You care about why this guy locked this other guy up so he could take his plane. You care about the guy on the ship. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The Arabic one, or the one in the Middle East, it was you run into what is his name? It's a really long movie.
The Prince of Persia.
That is not the Prince of Persia. It was a World War I hero, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember his name right now.
Namor.
Something of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh.
You run into Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh.
And it's cool. It's fun. And you get to use the sword and hack people up. And I'm glad that in these campaigns, I didn't notice as many horses, or if any. And I was so glad, because evidently these horses are made out of sterner stuff than tanks. Because, you could sit there and just, unload a cartridge into a horse, and it's like, here I go, I'm still riding it. And I'm like, this should not be a thing. So there are some things that they may want to think about going forward. Mm-hmm. But it was nice to be able to play the DLCs.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I get hammered all the time. But the good thing about that is it's not about kill streaks. It's like, this is not Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 4, I had top of the leaderboard with 15,000 points because I got in a dune buggy that had a 30 cal on it, and people jumped in it with me, and we just drove around in a circle, and they were just killing people, and I was just driving, and I get all kinds of points for driving. I was just doing the little baby driver thing, avoiding.
Teamwork.
Yeah, exactly, and you get so many points for that. So it's not about kill streaks. It's not about killing everybody you see or think about or even get a whiff of. It's about doing for the team. So that's what I like.
That's cool.
It was fun. It was fun to be able to do
Well,
it.
it encourages teamwork and support if it's not just about the
Yeah,
kill
exactly.
streak.
It's like if I see somebody getting waylaid, they're getting. I can see like cannon fire towards one of my teammates. I can go and kind of flank around and try to take some of that pressure away from them to let them do their job.
I like how modern shooter games are starting to get that idea or get that understanding that if they really want people to play all the roles that you need on the team, then you've got to award appropriate points for someone
Right.
doing support work.
Amen. Yeah. I mean, like, the game that I've spent the most time with is Overwatch, and that is a first-person shooter where you literally have to work together.
That is a team, yeah.
Yeah, if you go try to be John Rambo, guess what? You're going to die. And this is a game that doesn't necessarily care about how many kills you have or how many times you've died. The only objective of Overwatch is get to the point or defend the point or move the payload or stop the payload. It's working as a team.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like team efforts. I miss
Same with
the days.
Friday the 13th gameplay. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
exactly. I
1-on-7 or 7-on-1.
I feel like it makes the game more enjoyable. Actually, some of the gaming I did do this weekend, and it wasn't what it was, but I took a step back and played a little bit of Perfect Dark, which is an offshoot of GoldenEye. And one of the things on it is, we used to get in there and play multiplayer, but we used to play against the computer, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So so when you make these really horrible, AI kind of people that are going to take you down, and you try to take them on, and that's basically what the evolution of things have come to. The AI's gotten smarter; it's easier to figure you out, and so that's fun. But this is
AI getting smarter.
well, Elon Musk is not either. He
Yeah,
thinks-
neither did. Yeah.
so, but yeah, there was a lot of fun. I encourage you, if you stepped away from Battlefield 1 or you want to try these maps out. I know they're worth $40. I just can't do it right now. So, but I definitely want to, and I think maybe what I'll do is I'll wait till the Russian part of it comes out and then try to see if maybe they have a deal for both.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait until the end of the year because, Sony and Microsoft around Christmas time, they'll drastically slash stuff in the Microsoft and PlayStation Store respectively. So I would keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the event's over by the time you guys get this, but hey, it was fun.
As is open console beta. Also fun.
Yeah, also fun. So I think that's pretty much covers Hot and Streamy, and we tag team that, so we don't need a roast.
So now it's time for polls.
It is time for
No
polls.
pants polls.
The no pants polls.
Let's quickly revisit last week and just mention that Dumbo was the one that we're going to pull the plug on. So we're going to make
Once
some
again,
calls.
I was right.
We're going to make some phone calls,
I'm fine with this decision.
and we're going to pull the plug on Dumbo.
We're going to call Lannel and Disney and put the kibosh on
I
them.
think at Comic-Con, didn't we get a view of what Dumbo would look like and all that? Isn't that where they debuted that, or was it earlier?
I think it came-
I did see a
Dumbo figure.
Yeah.
Dumbo figure. It's like, I'm sorry, it still looks like CG.
I thought that was. I was thinking that was at D23, but maybe not.
It might have been. I don't know, but it was disturbing
all these
nonetheless.
conferences run together.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
disturbing nonetheless.
So anyway, you all don't have to worry about Dumbo anymore. We're going to put an end to that one, but we're still going to get the Sword and the Stone and the Lion King because we need them. Because Donald Glover.
There were, I think Andrew was one of the proprietors of being okay with the Lion King, as long as they did it like Jungle Book. But I mean, what's the point?
That's what I'm saying. But he also said he doesn't remember liking Dumbo. we were talking about this at work this week, and I was saying, let me think back to all these Disney classic cartoons. A lot of them were kind of boring. I mean, if you really think about it, like Pinocchio,
I like Pinocchio.
okay, but it's also kind of boring.
I will say this: I don't remember Pinocchio as a whole, but I do remember characters. Maybe I watched a lot more of it than you did. I don't know because they for a long time Disney just had what they had, and that's what was on the Disney Channel, and they just ran, turned the gauntlet. You were going to get it.
I did watch them, but I remember them putting me to sleep. Like Pinocchio put me to sleep.
There was another acid dream thing with the kids Toyland in Pinocchio, that like in Dumbo with the pink elephants. That was Disney's calling card. Is like, we're going to do something really messed up. You don't know when, but it's going to happen.
Speaking of that, when are we going to get our live action Pinocchio?
I mean, when's Eisenberg?
They ought to make
when's
that-
Eisenberg ready?
I'm not going to lie, just from the spectacle aspect, I'd probably be interested in a live action Pinocchio.
If that's the one Tim Burton I feel like needed to do.
They ought to make it more like Tim
Yeah,
Burton
like
or
dark.
or like Twilight Zone-y kind of. Yeah,
Del Toro.
Yeah, get Del Toro on there. So anyway, it was 17 votes. Dumbo got 59% of the vote, 29 to Lion King, and 12 to Sword in the Stone. It sounds like people are more interested in seeing some more King Arthur. So,
Or they just
never
never
get
have
tired of
seen
it.
Sword in the Stone.
Both possibly true. Yes.
Yeah.
we did have some retweets on here, and so that means we get to give away free comic. So we shall do that. All right, Matt. I'm going to need a drum roll here because we're going to randomly generate a number and find out who wins the free comic this week. Hit it. And our winner of the new e-comic Secret Empire number 5 is Jared Kate.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jared Kate. You are the lucky recipient.
Recipient.
That's not a word.
Oh, of Secret Empire number 5. Landon mentioned last week that would be the giveaway this week, so we are hooking you up. Hopefully, you're caught up on 0 through 4.
Don't forget
Or
0.
if you're not, just go back and listen to previous comic book corners, and we got you covered because we're cool like that here at Nerd News Cafe.
That's a fact.
Fact check. Yeah, we did cover all those, didn't we?
We did.
So yeah, I think he's a dedicated listener. I would think
so,
so. He does communicate quite well.
Yes. Appreciate that, Jared.
Thanks,
and we
Jared.
also appreciate every one of our listeners that
Absolutely.
interacts with us, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Friendster, because we have one of those for some reason, whether it be showing up randomly at my unlisted address. I don't know how you figured that out.
Yeah, so I want to give a quick shout out to our frequent interactors. That would be Eric Lehman, Andrew, or like I call him, Andreview, or the Android.
The Android.
Android's hitting us up all the time, and Robert's been hitting us up too, Robert Howder. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
shout
that.
out to Robert. Mhm.
Yeah, all of you are,
And of course, Jared.
Jared's bringing the heat. But we appreciate it. That's a lot of fun during the week to be able to have those live conversations.
I
with
do
you
look.
guys,
I do
so.
look forward to those comments. Like I'm not going to say that I check my phone often, but I check it often.
Well, it's kind of like texting a girl and you're just waiting for her to text you back.
Yeah, but am I supposed to wait like 2 days to send a response to these people when they're like, "Hey, I had this comment," or is there or am I too eager if I do it like right after?
You don't want to seem too eager.
Okay, all right.
That's true. You don't want to seem too eager.
No.
But you do want to get them back. But yeah, Eric Lehman, one of the things he talked about was he said that DC needs to take some notes on how a comic book trailer, trailer for a comic movie needs to look from because he still has zero interest in the Justice League based on what they put out. But
Well, it is what it is. It really is. I would say, yeah, they do, but they're not going to, obviously.
Nope. Mm-mm.
They're set in their ways. I'm not doing what Marvel does. They're still, they're almost like, you know how your parents are trying to deal with technology as it is right now? And they're like, why can't I just get a jitterbug? What happened to real phones,
Or my favorite is, do you remember my password?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
God.
No, I don't. I had a conversation with my father the other day on how Bluetooth headphones work, and that was interesting.
You should have just said magic and leave it at that.
Magic.
Magic.
No, he is not a person who thinks magic is a word to define anything. But
Welcome to 2017.
yeah, so, but I feel like maybe DC's the same way. It's like, we're fine with the way movies work, and their stuff. Like, they may have progressed up to like the Tobey Maguire type deal of movies, how they're making stuff and doing trailers, as far as like Spider-Man went. But they may still be in that 80s Captain America style. I'm not sure yet.
I think they're in a tough spot, though, I will say, because Marvel does it right.
They do.
And they wouldn't want to put out trailers and just be, accused of doing it
Plagiarism.
the Marvel way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily plagiarism,
Well,
but
but,
trying to be
yeah.
like Marvel.
Yeah, this is the mold. We're going to hit it too.
So they're like, we need to do our
But
own
everybody
thing.
else is.
But well,
I'll put. Let me throw this final example out there. How many 80s trailers do we have with that same voiceover guy? And it is cut the same way, and it matters not what the movie was about or who was in it or who did it.
yeah,
In a world. That's how every one of them starts.
That's fair.
So, I mean...
But it's like, let me jump in here. It's like, I don't get. It's like, okay, last night last night when we were recording this, DC drops a 4-minute Justice League trailer. It shows us a ton of stuff. 90 minutes, 2 hours after the fact, Marvel drops a 2-minute Thor trailer, and what is everybody talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they've built that world. I think it all has to do with fanship too.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we BVS is not the best. Suicide Squad's not the best. I mean,
Wonder Woman was the shit.
Wonder Woman, and this one has Wonder Woman, so I guess that's why you're getting any fanship with this.
Yeah.
The whole Batflick, scenario going on, and then it's a mess for them right now, and I understand why they're not getting the talks or whatever. But hey, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Indeed, we will.
Maybe
see.
the movie's going to surprise us all. So
yeah, but like Matt said, it's like I don't know why we're complaining. They already have our money. So
yeah, exactly. We're gonna go see it. I mean, Eric's not, but we'll tell him about it.
Exactly, in painstakingly detailed.
That's right, Eric. We're sending you a full review.
get ready, right for your earballs.
That's right, earballs. Ooh, gross.
Double-barreled shot to the earballs.
Oof. The technical term.
Here. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's talk about a poll this week. So we didn't pre-plan anything, but I do have a suggestion. I was thinking, should we ask the people, do they take the approach, the mad approach to trailers of, I just want to avoid these so that, I would rather have our trailers too much. I'd rather have no idea and just go see the movie. So I'm either not pleasantly surprised or disappointed either way.
Teasers are great. But I feel like we're getting way too much in the new one. And people want it.
Yeah.
There's a want for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you would phrase that. Teaser, but no meal.
Well, I just think it's either you're gonna,
are they too much?
Consume.
There you go. Are they too much?
Are you going to consume every trailer that comes out for a movie you're excited about, or are you going to abstain?
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Or in between.
We might have to throw a third option in here because
case by case.
I would be the third option because it's like I like taking in trailers, but depending on what I see in the trailer and depending on how close this movie that I'm seeing the trailer for is coming out, I might not watch that trailer because I think it was Age of Ultron. They put out another official trailer like 2-3 weeks before the movie came out, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to see this. I'm already sold on this movie. I don't want to see something 2-3 weeks before the movie and spoil it for me. But at the same time, I would never have arrived at that conclusion unless I had seen the trailers prior to that. So
okay.
I don't know. Once again, I feel like I'm that little slice in the Venn diagram where it kind of both overlaps.
So a case by case in proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll try to think of a way to word this, but I think coming out of Comic-Con where it was a plethora of trailers, I just feel like all the trailers hit us at once.
All the trailers.
We got hit by the tractor trailer.
We actually avoided that. He parked somewhere else.
I just think it's an appropriate question. Are you eating all that stuff up, or are you like, I've got the picture, I know what I want to see, or are you like Landon and it's like, I'll take the teaser, I'll take the appetizer. And but when it comes to the main course, let me wait till the movie comes out. So I think we can go that way.
A food analogy.
Yeah, you're either fasting, you want an appetizer, or you want the main course. Those are your options.
That actually is really well designed. Good job, guys.
Sure, that works. I was going to say, can we coffee shop it? But that's fine. Do you want a trial? Do you want a do you want a little medicine cup?
You want a shot?
Do you want a little trial cup that's maybe a couple ounces, or nothing at all? And you just go ahead and buy it.
Yeah.
You want.
Are you? What is someone who avoids coffee? Weird.
Yeah.
Communists.
Communist.
Are you a communist? You want a shot, or do you want the whole pot?
I don't know. I don't know. I've got a feeling that communists won't get any votes.
Captain America will vote for it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Captain America would. That jagweed.
All right.
Hashtag not my cap.
So we're going to throw it out there. However, I end up shaping it up. It'll come out on Thursday, sometime around lunchtime.
You guys are free to hit us up with some thoughts before Thursday. Not that
how would they do that?
Oh, that's true.
If you're like Vin Diesel and you somehow have superpowers,
Oh, yeah, if you are Vin
maybe
Diesel.
you've predicted the future and you
can
know
cut
what this
that.
poll's going to be.
I would say you could cut that, but it's funny that you worked in Vin Diesel, so you should keep that. I don't know. I get confused when we're recording things.
And while we're at it, send us winning lottery numbers. Who's going to win the World Series?
We'll
the
take
national
all that.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
But we're going to put the poll out there, and if you would like to be like Jared Cate and win yourself a free digital comic, you should vote and retweet and be a follower,
Fulu.
and you will be the next lucky recipient. I can't do recipient today,
can't.
but you'll get next week. I'm going to give you the Edge of Venomverse #2, so you can check out Gwenpool.
Nice. It's cool. It's comic-y. Gwenum?
Vinpool. She calls herself different things in the comic.
Gwenpool.
Gwynpool. Gwenum.
Yep.
Hey, can I get in here with another nerd hot take? All right, you remember how a little while ago I said I don't get Spider-Gwen? I even more don't get Gwen. Hot take over.
Okay.
Take it.
That was a shot. That was a shot hot take.
Right in the gut.
Yeah.
Right in the symbiote gut.
But maybe you want a little taste of Gwenpool with a side of symbiote. And if that's the case, then you could do that if you vote in the poll and retweet and all that stuff. So
I
there you
think
go.
if you win that one, you definitely need to pick up that next one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the
that
next one
Ghost
looks
Rider
good.
one, like
only a
Lance said,
suggestion.
is metal.
Yeah.
So I think that about wraps us up for what we had content-wise. And if it ain't, who cares? So that's all you're getting. I don't think I have anything else. Anybody got any quick ones before I
I just
drop
want
the
to say,
plugs?
be on the lookout for my coming soon podcast, Wookiee Leaks.
Wookiee Leaks. Always on the
Hashtag
move.
Now that I've put it on the air, it's official. You all can't steal that name from me, you
Producer Mark Tape.
All right. Until we have any more plugs for Wookiee Leaks, you can reach us at nerdnewscafe@gmail.com if you want to send a longer one. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, what am I doing? nerdnewscafe@gmail.com.
There you go.
And then
That's the email.
if you want to hit us on Twitter, it's at nerd_news_cafe.
Correct.
If you want to hit us on the Facebook, Nerd News Cafe, not hard to find.
Hit us on the Facebook.
Hit us on the Facebook.
Punch us right in the face.
That's right. Give us a spank on the face. You.
That's called a slap. Young.
I call it a
Open.
spank. Hey.
It depends on open or
I was
closed
about to
fist.
say, it's a cheek you're hitting, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
either
wait,
way.
you did say spank the face.
I did say spank the face.
Interesting.
That's right. There's cheeks both ways. So, if you want to get on the website, always changing, always updating, nerdnewscafe.com.
Yep.
We're on YouTube. If you guys want to hit us up on there, if you want to, if your work allows YouTube, but doesn't allow streaming, that's a good way to get around it. Just letting you know, personal experience.
Hashtag life hack.
Hashtag life hack, yeah. Pod hack. So you can hit us up on there, Nerd News Cafe, at the Ubis of Tubis. I think that's about it that I can think of. Do we have anything else that we do?
All right, well, let me get in here with my plugs. Twitter.com/Landoz, LANDOZ. And today dropped episode 2 of Game of Thrones Talk, or Got Talk, where me and my buddy Hunter East, we break down every episode of Season 7 of HBO's award-winning Game of Thrones series. So if you are a Thrones fan, head on over to buttmunchchips.com and click on the Got Talk tab and download that. I'm still trying to figure out how to get it in the iTunes store. We'll figure that out. I have to ask Jay about that. But also, if you're following me on Twitter, you'll see updates whenever Got Talk drops. Really excited about that, but unfortunately we only have a handful of episodes left of Game of Thrones, so everybody join me and Hunter. We're doing questions of the week. Hopefully we got some revelations on what our question of the week was last week. What is Euron Greyjoy's, quote, precious gift, or priceless gift, excuse me, he's going to bring Cersei Lannister? I don't know if we're going to get full-blown answers, but hopefully we get a little bit of a tip of the cap or where that answer is going to go.
I think it's
And
going to be
sure
AIDS.
Oh, well, spoiler alert. Somebody's obviously read the books.
A golden ticket.
But, download that. Having a lot of fun with Hunter doing that. And it's only going to get better because it can't get any worse. So for Justin Kreuzinger and Matt Weaver, my name is Landon Doan. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Nerd News Cafe. Stir it up. You've been great. We've been Nerd News. Good night.
Take me home, Daddy.